Taxi aired on ABC from September 1978 to May 1982, and then on NBC for its final season, which brought it to an end in 1983. The show followed a motley crew of employees from the Sunshine Cab Company in New York City, which includes Bobby, a frustrated actor, Tony, the struggling boxer, an art gallery receptionist named Elaine, and Louie, the tyrannical dispatcher. For almost everyone, the cab company is just a temporary job on the way to something better. But at the core of the company is disillusioned Alex, who's sure he'll be driving a cab for the rest of his life. A burned-out ex-hippie minister named Reverend Jim, and a strange mechanic named Latka round out the group. But what happened to the cast after the show ended? Jud Hirsch played Alex Rieger, the compassionate, level-headed core of the show, the one everyone turns to for advice. After the program ended, he had a major role as the vice principal in the comedy film Teachers, and went on to several TV movies like Lights, First Steps, and Brotherly Love. Then he was cast in the leading role of teacher John Lacey in the sitcom Dear John from 1988 to 1992. He also had a prominent role in the summer blockbuster Independence Day in 1996. Then he co-starred in the sitcom George and Leo with Bob Newhart, but that only lasted one season. He has made guest appearances on Family Law, Philly, Regular Joe, Street Time, and Law & Order: Criminal Intent. In 2005, he scored a major role in the police series Numbers, which ran for 6 seasons. Most recently, he has appeared in the TV series Marin, The Big Bang Theory, Superior Donuts, and The Goldbergs. Jud Hirsch is now 88 years old, and he's been married twice and has 3 children. Jeff Conaway played Bobby Wheeler. He's an optimistically naive, struggling actor whose flamboyance is Louie's favorite target. After the show ended, he starred in the short-lived fantasy series Wizards and Warriors and had a role in the TV series Berringers. From 1989 to 1990, he played Mick Savage on The Bold and the Beautiful. Then he made guest appearances on Matlock, Murder, She Wrote, Hope and Gloria, and George and Leo. He also played Zach Allen on Babylon 5 for 5 seasons. After experiencing a crisis in the mid-1980s, he came to grips with having a substance abuse problem. He underwent treatment in the late 1980s and often spoke candidly about his addictions. He relapsed many times and was even featured on the VH1 reality show Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew in 2008. On May 11, 2011, Conaway was found unconscious and taken to the hospital, where he was listed in critical condition. Not only was he impaired from drugs, but he had pneumonia with sepsis and was placed into an induced coma. On May 26, 2011, his family took him off of life support after doctors determined they could do nothing to revive him. Jeff Conaway died the following morning at the age of 60. Danny DeVito played Louie De Palma, the head dispatcher of the Sunshine Cab Company and supervisor to the cab drivers. After the series ended, he maintained his status as a great character actor, with memorable roles in movies like Romancing the Stone, Ruthless People, Throw Mama from the Train, Twins, Batman Returns, and many more. He also had a great deal of success behind the camera, directing movies like The War of the Roses and Hoffa. Then he and his wife Rhea Perlman co-founded Jersey Films, which has produced many popular movies and shows. He also did voiceover work for animated films like Space Jam, Hercules, and The Lorax. Most recently, he has been on the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which has lasted 16 seasons so far. He has been married to Rhea Perlman since 1982, and they had 3 children, although they separated in 2017. Mary Lou Henner played Elaine O'Connor Nardo, a divorced mother of 2, struggling to cope while trying to realize her ambitions in the field of fine art. After the program ended, she starred opposite Burt Reynolds in The Man Who Loved Women, Cannonball Run 2, and was the leading lady in Johnny Dangerously. Then she starred in the films Perfect and LA Story. From 1990 through 1994, she appeared opposite Burt Reynolds in the TV comedy Evening Shade. She also provided her voice for socialite Veronica Vreeland in Batman the Animated Series, and reprised the role in the subsequent animated films. She has made guest appearances on My Boys, ER, Grey's Anatomy, 2.5 Men, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Neighborhood, and many more. Mary Lou has been married 3 times and now has 2 adult children. Tony Danza played Tony Banta, the kind-hearted, slow-witted Vietnam veteran and boxer that had little success in the sport. After the show ended, he had a starring role in the classic 1980s series Who's the Boss, which ran for 8 seasons. In the 1990s, he starred in 3 short-lived sitcoms, Baby Talk, Hudson Street, and The Tony Danza Show, for which he executive produced. Then he started a run of guest appearances, showing up on The Practice, King of the Hill, Betty, and Family Guy. He also had a recurring role as Joe Solano in 2 seasons of Family Law. In 2009, he took on his most challenging role yet, teaching 10th grade English at a Philadelphia high school. His experience was documented on A&E with a 7-part series called Teach. In 2012, he also released a book titled I'd Like to Apologize to Every Teacher I Ever Had, which became a New York Times bestseller. Most recently, Danza has guest starred on the TV shows Outmatched, Blue Bloods, and Just Like That, and Tacoma FD. The now 72-year-old has been married twice and has 4 children. Andy Kaufman played Latka, an immigrant from a strange foreign land, often speaking in his foreign tongue. During his time on Taxi, he continued to tour comedy clubs and theaters in a series of unique performance art/comedy shows, sometimes appearing as himself and sometimes as an obnoxious, rude lounge singer named Tony Clifton. He was also a frequent guest on Late Night with David Letterman, bringing his professional wrestling villain act to the show by way of a staged encounter with wrestler Jerry the King Lawler. But on May 16, 1984, Andy Kaufman died of lung cancer at the age of 35. Christopher Lloyd played Reverend Jim, a washed-up figure from the 1960s who lives in a world of his own. After the show ended, he landed the role of the eccentric inventor Doc Brown in the Back to the Future trilogy, the evil Judge Doom in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and deranged Uncle Fester in The Addams Family. He then moved into voice work with roles in Anastasia, The Animated Adventures of Tom Sawyer, Space Case, and Hey Arnold, the movie. In the early 2000s, he also made guest appearances on the TV shows Malcolm in the Middle, Tremors, The West Wing, and King of the Hill. He has since been in countless guest and supporting roles on numerous shows and movies, but most recently, he appeared on The Big Bang Theory, the rebooted Roseanne, AP Bio, and The Conners. Christopher Lloyd has been married 5 times, but never had any children. Let me know in the comments if I missed anything, and maybe even consider supporting the channel over on Patreon. If you enjoyed this video, consider watching this playlist. While you're at it, hit subscribe and share Recollection Road Entertainment with someone you know. As always, thank you so much for watching.